Live from WRAL News headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
New this morning, our level 1 risk has expanded to the entire viewing area. We could see wind damage later today. I'll show you when the storms could arrive where you are.
3 people shot at a local hookah lounge early this morning.
And we have an update from the scene as police investigate.
And it could take months to get a new ID. Coming up, how work is happening today to make your next trip to the DMV easier.
Good morning and welcome in. It is top of the hour, 6 o'clock. I'm Catherine Brown in for Renee Chu this morning.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Great to have you along here.
Good to be
It's
here.
been a minute.
It's been a little bit of a minute. It's good to be here, though.
Look who we found, Elizabeth. Elizabeth Gardner over in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Old friend.
Yeah, Catherine, so great to have you with us for this morning. We're looking at the potential for this cold front to bring us some scattered showers and thunderstorms mid to late afternoon, and some of those could be strong to severe. An update from the Storm Prediction Center now includes the entire viewing area with that potential for damaging winds. Heavy rain's also a possibility. This system has a history of producing some heavy rain, and so we could easily see that. As the cold front approaches us this afternoon, we'll see a mix of sun and clouds. We're waking up to some clouds in a few spots this morning. Around 2 or 3 in the afternoon, we begin to see the storms developing across our area. You can see that's 3 o'clock, almost developing a bit of a line between 3 and 5. Between 6 and 7, it moves out of the viewing area, but the cold front will swing through between 10 and 11, and that may bring a few more isolated showers, but not likely to see a severe threat at that point. Take a look at Pinehurst. They are busy getting ready for the U.S. Open, but some fog has developed here at Pinehurst Resort and Country Club. 73 is our temperature around the triangle, and our dew point 67. So it's warm and sticky out there. Visibility in Southern Pines is at 9 miles, which is not bad at all. So there are just some small pockets of fog developing this morning. It's going to be a hot afternoon with highs in the low 90s, high humidity, but I'll show you why this front's going to bring us some much nicer weather. Ken?
All right, it's 6:01, Elizabeth. We have a quiet start to a morning commute this morning. We are seeing traffic picking up just a bit there in the northbound lanes of I-885 there in the Bull City. Usually that's probably due to the morning congestion, but elsewhere in the triangle, all the major thoroughfares appear to be delay-free at this point, and that's what you want to hear. I want to take you outside and give you a live look now at I-40 in South Saunders. You can see even the traffic is picking up a bit in the westbound lanes, moving away from us. Traffic is moving steadily this morning.
We are following some breaking news right now. 3 people shot at a local hookah lounge. WRAL's Nick Perlin is live in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker in Fayetteville. And Nick, the police are there on the scene right now investigating.
That's correct, and we know that they arrived here at some point this morning. This hookah lounge is right off of Ramsey Street in Fayetteville. And I'm going to get behind the camera just so you can get a better look at the police presence that is here. You can see Fayetteville police as well as investigators here. And as I zoom in here on this hookah lounge, you can see it's covered and draped with police tape as investigators continue to go in and out of the hookah lounge. I've been seeing this for the past 5 minutes or so. We are still trying to figure out what exactly led to the shooting. That's what we're still trying to ask this morning, but we do know 3 people were shot here early this morning. Thankfully, they are all expected to live, but we're still trying to figure out what led to this shooting. Once we have more information, we'll be sure to update you. Live in Fayetteville, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
Renewing your license can be a pain, right? With those long lines and delays at the DMV. Today, we'll get an update on issues across our state. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the DMV office on Avon Ferry Road. The DMV commissioner will be answering questions about some of those problems. Kelsey.
Jeff, he will. And if you've experienced any issues at one of these locations, you're not the only one. 50,000 people have experienced issues with backups with state IDs every week. That's according to the DMV. And I read through the testimony that the DMV commissioner is expected to give in a few hours. And check out this list of the highlights of some of the things that he could be talking about. Long lines, wait times for IDs, and updating technology for customers and staff. Today's hearing comes a few months after lawmakers grilled the commissioner and his staff about these problems. Wait times for IDs was at the top of that list. The DMV says their normal turnaround time for giving out IDs is 15 days. Now it's jumped to 6 weeks. That's because a contractor printed more than 2,000 IDs it shouldn't have. DMV Commissioner Wayne Goodwin says he will give an update to lawmakers based on the progress he says that they've been making. That's scheduled to happen at 9 o'clock this morning, so we'll be sure to keep you updated. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Today, a funeral will take place for a family killed in a crash in Garner. Services for the Campbell family are happening this morning at a church in Ellenboro in the western part of our state. Tyler and Susan Campbell and their 8-year-old son Miles died in a crash that happened on Memorial Day. Memorial services for the family will continue this weekend. A service is planned in Garner at a building Summit Church uses on Vandora Springs Road. That is scheduled for Saturday at 3 p.m. And this is the first picture we're seeing of the driver, Jordan Porter. He's facing second-degree murder charges. A family member provided this photo to WRAL. Porter has not yet been served, so we don't have a mugshot of him. Warrants say he was drinking alcohol and smoking marijuana before this crash.
New this morning, 2 men are wanted for questioning in connection to a homicide after a man was found shot to death at a local car wash. It happened on Deaver Circle in Hope Mills. Authorities say the man who was killed was 21-year-old Lamarvian McKinnon, and the men wanted for questioning are 23-year-old Alan Tedder and 24-year-old Kimante Johnson. If you have information about their whereabouts, call the Cumberland County Sheriff's Office.
Shoppers at a Cumberland County Food Lion are on edge this morning after a man was caught peeping at the store. Deputies charged Patrick Clark with putting his cell phone under a woman's skirt and then taking a photo. The sheriff's office first heard about this a week ago and announcing the arrest yesterday. Clark is now out of jail on bond. Investigators say this may not have been his first time committing the crime. Shoppers at the Food Lion in Stedman say this makes them uneasy.
I just hope my Food Lion stays safe and not to look out for this guy anymore.
Now everybody's like has a negative connotation going to the grocery store, so which shouldn't happen, especially in such a sweet little town.
Clark is scheduled to appear in court again on June 20th. Deputies are still investigating this and encouraging anyone who may know of any other victims to reach out.
All right, take a look at this. At least one person is seriously hurt after a tornado touched down. This is in Maryland. It happened in Gaithersburg, about 30 minutes outside Washington, D.C. And just after 7:30 last night, this was the scene. Officials say 3 homes suffered significant damage and people were stuck inside each of those homes. The home that suffered the worst damage had 5 people inside. All were taken to the hospital. One person suffered traumatic injuries.
Well, this morning, Roy Cooper will present at the Governor's Crime Commission's quarterly meeting. The Crime Commission is designed to advise the Governor and State Secretary of Public Safety on crime and justice issues. The meeting will focus on domestic violence and sexual assault issues, as well as provide an update on juvenile delinquency prevention. This morning's meeting is open to the public, both in person and online, and starts at 9 a.m. WRAL's documentary unit has uncovered another consequence of the law. Gangs can use it to recruit younger members, telling kids they won't get in trouble for committing crimes. It's the subject of WRAL's newest documentary, Easy Targets, Gangs Getting Younger in North Carolina. You can watch Easy Targets tonight on WRAL or on WRALdoc.com.
More than 30 people are dead after an Israeli airstrike on a school in Gaza. That's according to hospital authorities and the Gaza government media. The school was run by the UN and was housing displaced Palestinians. The Israeli military says Hamas militants were operating from inside that school. The airstrike comes after Israel announced new operations in central Gaza. The attack comes as American, Egyptian, and Qatari officials meet in Doha, Qatar, for negotiations on a new ceasefire and hostage release deal.
Today, Gordon Cleveland, a gun store employee, will be back on the stand in Hunter Biden's trial on federal gun charges. Hunter Biden's ex-wife and ex-girlfriend testified about his drug use yesterday. The prosecution is trying to prove that Hunter knowingly lied when filling out a background check when he bought a gun in 2018. Hunter's ex-wife, Kathleen Buell, told the jury how she never saw him doing drugs, but often found drug paraphernalia in his car. Zoe Keston, an ex-girlfriend, said Hunter was still an active drug user around the time he filled out that background check.
1 week from today, they'll be golfing in Pinehurst. Today, though, it's buying at the merch tent for the U.S. Open gear. It's ready for business, a massive 35,000 square foot tent with hats and shirts and cookware, and all branded for the 124th edition of the U.S. Open. It's open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and for the next couple of days, anyone looking to get some USGA gear can drop by. Not just those with tickets to the U.S. Open. Anybody can stop in. The U.S. Open is being played at Pinehurst Golf Course number 2 starting 1 week from today.
Still to come this morning, severe weather turned deadly in Michigan. We'll show you the scary moments that left a 2-year-old dead and his mother in critical condition.
Also, former President Trump is looking for a running mate, the top contenders for the spots, and when we're expecting to learn who will run for VP alongside him.
And it's going to be a hot one today before the storms develop. We'll see a high of 91 with a heat index making it feel even hotter. Mid to late afternoon, we could see a round of strong to severe thunderstorms. I'll show you the timeline coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
612, following a cold front that'll swing through today finally, and that will bring us the chance of some scattered storms starting mid-afternoon and continuing into the evening. New this morning, the level 1 risk has been expanded to include the entire viewing area. Damaging winds are going to be our biggest threat, but heavy rain is likely with this system. We've got so much moisture in the atmosphere that rain could be heavy at times. Storms could begin as early as 2 or 3 and then pick up in intensity between 5 and 7, and then we may see another round closer to, say, 10 or 11, but that round would be much lighter in intensity. Again, a live look at Chapel Hill this morning. It is warm and muggy, but fairly cloudy. Lots of moisture in the atmosphere. It's going to be kind of rough for exercising this morning with the humidity, and a hot afternoon, too, at the high of 91.
And happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, just into the newsroom, we've got a traffic crash to report on Newborn Avenue in the westbound lane, not far from Treywick Road. We're not picking up any problems on our sensors, so nothing to worry about, nothing really major that will slow you down this morning. Elsewhere around the triangle, we are seeing traffic really picking up in those northbound lanes over the I-885 in Durham. Usually that's part of the morning congestion, but we'll keep an eye on it and let you know exactly what's going on, but especially if you're just heading out and that's part of your morning commute.
Ken, I want to bring our viewers into the WRAL Live Center to show some live images this morning out of Normandy in France. Basically, the camera has been showing different World War II veterans that are sitting at the front of a stage that is there for a ceremony to commemorate 80 years since D-Day. Just look at this crowd as you see them gather there, some taking photos, and you can clearly see on their hats, World War II veteran. In addition to this happening, there are also ceremonies happening elsewhere in Europe, including Britain. But in Normandy, President Joe Biden is actually there right now. He's speaking with some other folks there. You can see the First Lady there. He's shaking the hand of one veteran. He's also slated to speak with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky at some point, again, to commemorate 80 years since D-Day.
Severe weather turned deadly in Michigan. A 2-year-old boy is dead and his mother is hospitalized in critical condition after a tree crashed right through the roof of their home. This all happened in the city of Livonia, about 25 minutes from Detroit. That tree fell through the bedroom onto a bed where the mother and her baby were lying, pinning them underneath. Crews worked for over an hour to remove the tree and get the mother and child out. The 2-year-old died at the scene. There was a 2-week-old in a crib in a separate room along with a grandmother there who were not injured.
As Donald Trump searches for a running mate, some VP contenders are receiving vetting materials. That's according to sources close to the matter. Some big names include Senator Marco Rubio, Senator Tim Scott, and former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Dr. Ben Carson, among others. Many of these potential candidates have spent recent weeks making public demonstrations of their loyalty and defending Trump on television. Trump said he may announce his running mate at the Republican National Convention in Milwaukee in July.
Later this month, Boeing's outgoing CEO will testify in front of Congress. The hearing comes after a whistleblower testified about quality control issues on Boeing's 787 Dreamliner and 777 production lines. The whistleblower says Boeing retaliated against him after he reported problems. He said Boeing knowingly took shortcuts, skipping critical safety steps to reduce production delays. Boeing denies the accusations. Boeing is already under scrutiny for its handling of 2 fatal crashes and a door plug flying off a jet earlier this year. Some public health officials say sugar and its harmful effects on our health should be spelled out for consumers on warning labels, just like the ones on cigarette packages. On average, Americans eat more than 100 pounds of sugar per person each year. That's more than 3 times the recommended amount by the FDA. It's not just candy and soda either. It's hidden sugar in things like processed foods, cereals, salad dressings that are all adding to the sugar intake. Ahead this morning on Today, everything families need to know about sugar consumption when it comes to health and wellness. Today starts on WRAL 7 a.m. for us. You see that sun rising behind me here. Another hot one on the way. It'll bring a bit of unsettled weather for one more day. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center.
Yeah, once we see this cold front come through, it's going to deliver a much more pleasant feeling air mass to us for Friday and Saturday. But this does come through with the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms. That'll happen this afternoon. The update today is that our level 1 risk now includes the entire viewing area. Damaging winds would be our biggest threat, but heavy rain is likely also, even if you don't see wind damage. As these storms develop, the rain is likely to be heavy because we have a very moisture-laden atmosphere. Some cloud cover for us this morning. We'll see some breaks in the clouds on and off today. And between 2 and 3 o'clock, we start to see some of the storms developing. Those start swinging through into our eastern counties by around 5 and then out by 6 or 7. We make it a bit of a break, and then the cold front itself comes through starting at around 10. And there may be an isolated shower with that, but it's not likely that we'll see the same threat for severe weather when the cold front comes through. Most of the energy will be used up ahead of that when that first band comes through. This front is going to bring us a much more comfortable weekend with a nice drop in humidity, and we'll talk more about that coming up. 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms for this afternoon, and that will continue into the evening. The amounts as a general rule will probably be somewhere between 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch. That's going to be an average because, again, some of these storms may produce some very heavy rain. You could see more than that if one of those cells happens to sit over you for a little while. Looking ahead to the weekend, it's going to be so nice for tomorrow and Saturday. At game time for the Durham Bulls, they've got a homestand right now. At 6:35, temperatures will be in the low to mid 80s, but the humidity will be much lower than it is right now. So feeling comfortable. It is dry all the way through the weekend, but Sunday's a little bit warmer and also a little bit more muggy. 91 for today, 88 tomorrow, 87 Saturday. We do see the temperature bump up a little bit on Sunday along with the humidity, but a fairly dry front comes through, and that's going to bring us another drop in temperature and humidity. But overnight Sunday night with that front, there could be an isolated shower or thunderstorm. Coming up, we're going to talk about just how much the humidity will drop with that front. Ken?
Excellent. At 6:18, Elizabeth, we continue to monitor a crash that's happened on New Bern Avenue, not far from Trawick Road. This is in the westbound lane of New Bern Avenue. We're not seeing any delays picking up on our sensors this morning, but you will notice some traffic, some flashing lights and some police activity there. So be careful navigating that area of New Bern Avenue if that's part of your morning commute. Elsewhere around the triangle, all the major routes in and around the triangle and surrounding communities are relatively clear this morning. We're picking up quite a bit of bumper-to-bumper traffic there on in the Durham Freeway and I-885. And let's give you a live look at what we're seeing right now. This is a live look at the Durham Freeway and Cornwallis Road. Traffic definitely has picked up, but moving at a steady clip in both directions. Of course, if you're getting ready to head out, you can always listen to us on the radio at 99.3 FM in Raleigh and 96.5 FM in Durham.
All right, thanks, Ken. Coming up in What's Trending, a bear caught on camera walking into a man's kitchen. We're going to see this video and tell you what that man tried to do to get the bear out.
All right. Plus, a look at the star-studded cast of Traitors Season 3, and reality TV fans, you're in for a treat.
Here's a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers, and we're right back with What's Trending.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
All right, if you're a fan of reality TV, chances are the cast of the new season of Traitors has someone for you in there.
Ken Smith here now with What's Trending. Hey, Ken.
Yeah, it doesn't include any of us. We're not traitors.
No.
Well, the Traitors Season 3 cast is full of stars from Real Housewives to Survivor and The Bachelor. The show is set in a castle where contestants compete for a cash prize while trying to figure out who the traitors are hidden among them. Peacock posted this video showing host Alan Cumming announcing the cast. Now, some fans of the show, they're very excited about the mix of heroes and villains.
Yeah, we're going to find out about this. It's got Zac Efron's brother in it, as well as Boston Rob from Survivor, but Ken's favorite, Tom Sandoval from Vanderpump Rules, Scandoval.
That's his nickname, isn't it?
Yeah, it's his nickname. Talk about villains, okay?
Love it. A lot of fans excited about that. So take a look at this. A bear caught on video sneaking into a kitchen is getting a lot of attention online. Look at this. The bear walked right into a man's kitchen from an open door. This happened in a California neighborhood. Hello. The man sprayed the bear with water, only to find it had a friend with it in his backyard. So what did the bears do? Well, they just climbed a fence and went into the neighbor's yard.
I mean, I think it's pretty brave of the guy to just start pelting the bear with water.
Yeah.
Like I think I would have just run.
Could just make it mad.
Right.
But it worked, right?
It worked, and no word yet on how the neighbors feel or if those two are still talking, right?
They find
Like,
food
dude,
there.
how are you going to send them into my backyard?
Find food? Ken, thanks.
Events for the 66th annual Big Rock Blue Marlin Fishing Tournament kick off tomorrow. Michael Jordan's Catch-23 yacht has arrived in Morehead City. There it is right there. This will be Jordan's 5th straight appearance at Big Rock. Crowds will flock to the coast over the weekend to see who will bring home the multi-million-dollar prize.
3 young boys stumbled across a fossil in the North Dakota Badlands, and it belonged to a T-Rex. They were going for a hike in July of 2022 when they discovered that rare fossil. The Denver Museum of Nature and Science says its team of paleontologists excavated the remains the next year, and they say that fossil belonged to a juvenile T-Rex estimated to be 10 feet tall and weigh 3,500 pounds. Later this month, the museum is opening a temporary exhibit to display that rare find.
New this morning, our level 1 risk has expanded to include the entire viewing area. Wind damage is possible with the storms that will develop this afternoon. I'll walk you through the timeline.
The scene is now cleared at a Fayetteville hookah lounge where 3 people were shot early this morning. Coming up, more on the investigation.
And long lines and delays when it comes to getting your ID. Yeah, we know about that. Today we'll learn more about the problems behind the state's DMV.